Am I audible? Can someone confirm?
Yes, Vishal.
Good. Thanks, Jay.
Hey developers, join us for the biggest AI.
All right. So let me share my screen just for 1 minute, please. Okay. You guys just let me know if my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, we are able to see.
Okay, good. All right. Allow me a few seconds more. Okay. So I believe we are good. We can start now. And hi, Madan. Good morning. Okay. Let me stop this all devices. Release the new lab, and that is our February batch. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning. Okay, so guys, I hope yesterday session was useful and you guys get something about the SD-WAN. You understand about the controller, you understand about the basic concept, how basically SD-WAN is going to look like. If I just compare with the box architecture with the open box architecture, and how basically we can do the step-by-step their configuration as well. Means configuration we are going to discuss today, but at least we understand how the OMP route is going to look like, how basically my controller definition is going to be look like, how my legacy box become the SD-WAN box, means the how transition was happening from legacy SD-WAN router to normal router to SD-WAN router. So today we have to understand the step-by-step configuration. But before I can explain a step-by-step configuration, we have to understand the concept, that is the underlay versus overlay. So anyone know about like what is the underlay and what is the overlay? Any idea? Anyone? Because
Vishal, actually, the underlay is the thing which you connect to an service provider like a BGP, OSPF, and the overlay we can say it as a logical connectivity. That's an overlay,
very
like
nice.
VXLAN. VXLAN.
Mhm. Good. What else, guys? Arun give the one like
Yeah,
definition.
OMP is running. It's overlay and
Mm-hmm.
OSPF and BGP that working that will work underlay. OMP
Mm.
overlay, BGP is underlay like that.
Okay.
मतलब underlay is basically physical connectivity between device to device and overlay which is connectivity between device to device, but with the help of GRE tunnel, DM VPN, IPsec. That is the concept of the overlay.
Okay, very nice. What else, guys? Anyone else want to contribute? There is a multiple flavors I have now, so it's really makes sense. But I'll summarize. What else? Sami, you want to say something? What is underlay? What is overlay? Madan, you want to say that something?
यस सर, अंडरले जो हमारी रहती है वो बेसिक कनेक्टिविटी हम बनाते हैं, और ओवरले पे हम जैसे टनल क्रिएट करते हैं, दैट इज ओवरले मीन्स जो मेरी बेसिक कनेक्टिविटी बना ली है मैंने, तो अगर उस पे अगर मैंने कुछ पीयर को कनेक्टिविटी करना है एक नेटवर्क से दूसरे नेटवर्क में, या वीपीएन कनेक्ट करना है, तो हम उसके ऊपर ओवरले कनेक्ट करते हैं, ओवरले बनाते हैं सर। जैसे आईपी सेक हो गया, ओएमपी हो गया, मतलब बीएक्स लैन हो गया, ये जो हम लोग प्रोटोकॉल यूज करके ओवरले टनल क्रिएट करते हैं।
Great. All right, guys. So now I have the multiple flavors of the underlay versus overlay. But let me simplify it. All are quite relevant. There is no right and wrong answers because you all try. That's appreciated. That's most important thing. At least you are trying. You just explain the things. But if I talk about the underlay, if I talk about the overlay, that means the underlay is just your basic infra. Basic infra. And on top of that basic infra, you are going to develop some sophisticated infra. That means you are going to design some sophisticated network on which you're going to give the more flexibility. So underlay your basic infra. How we can make the like more layman language definition? Just think about government want to build one expressway, right? So expressway have the lot of facility, means you can drive a car up to 200 kilometer per hours. You are going to get very good restaurant. You are going to get very good petrol pumps, might other charging stations, gas filling stations. You are going to get good hotels. You can stay if you have the very long journey. Might you are traveling from Delhi to Mumbai via the expressway. But that expressway, before building that expressway, what's the most important thing? That most important thing, you have to get some basic infrastructure where you can develop the expressway. That's acquiring the like land, building some kind of the design, or might be you just draw some rough based on the like very basic infrastructure road where might be we having the simple connectivity, single lane, double lane kind of the roads was there, but that was not having that much flexibility. They were in very bad conditions. But by using that basic infrastructure, might be if I'm going to travel from that basic infrastructure from Delhi to Mumbai, it is going to take almost 3 days to 4 days because there was not designed in such way where I can drive a car 200 kilometer per miles or even 150 kilometer per miles because they are just basic. Like we have to cross over the towns, we have to cross over the lot of traffic. The road was very bad conditions. So once we identified the basic infrastructure, on top of that basic infrastructure, we are going to design something very sophisticated that's become the overlay. So that's the like layman example, what we can understand to just building one expressway, right? But how it is going to correlate with my networking or security domain in underlay and overlay. So let's understand. Let's suppose this is the one of the router. He want to connect with this router. Means this LAN, both LAN want to communicate. LAN 1 and LAN 2 want to communicate. There is two way. I can use simple my normal connectivity. That might be it's a internet circuit. And this could be my MPLS circuit. So what internet and what MPLS going to make something in between these two LAN so that they can make the connectivity. So we just have to use some basic IP connectivity, basic IP v4 or IP v6 connectivity. By using this connectivity, we are going to run either a static routing or might be dynamic routing like BGP, ISIS, or OSPF, you are running the MPLS like that. So based on that, we are going to make the connectivity between these two sites via dynamic or static routing. And based on that, they are going to exchange the routing. But this is kind of the simple road where you have the very basic infrastructure, means you can just do the simple manipulations, simple kind of the traffic failover is going to be happen, simple kind of the link monitoring is going to be happen, simple kind of the your cloud monitoring is going to happen. If you want to add more integration, you have to add more configuration. So something is very basic infrastructure, means basic IPv4, IPv6 infrastructure is always considered as a underlay connectivity. But on top of that infrastructure, if you are going to build something very sophisticated based on the tunnels like TLS, DTLS, IPsec, OMP, that is going to make a something overlay. So overlay cannot be formed unless or until you have the basic IP reachability. What is the best example? Let me tell you the best example so you can understand. Let's suppose you have the requirement. You have the requirement. Just you have the ISP. Right? This is the internet. And we have the one R1. And this is my another R2. This is for the branch 1. This is for the branch 2. Now we are going to take the internet circuits on the both of the router. This internet is going to give the public IP address. So one public IP is going to be configured here. One public is going to be configured here. Now you have the requirement, because when this LAN is going to inject some traffic and this LAN is inject some traffic over the internet, this is the unsecure media. What does means unsecure media? Means the traffic is going to be processed via this particular link. Anyone sitting in the internet who can snip your packet, who can intercept your traffic, who can just analyze your all data and understand what you are sending and receiving. So basically your data is going to be compromised, your traffic is going to be compromised, and you are going to lose might be valuable. Let's suppose you are sending some project related data, some financial related data, some very critical informations from your organization from one branch to another branch, but someone say sitting man in the middle who is going to intercept your all traffic and understand what R1 and R2 talking, or might be the LAN major are talking. So to mitigate this problem, we required something who can help to encrypt my end-to-end traffic, right? So for that, we have the one of the protocol that is known as the IPsec, right? IPsec is a protocol who having responsibility to make sure whatever traffic is traveling over the unsecure media like internet, they will basically do the encryptions end to end. Means whatever the traffic is going to happen from one side to another side, they will build a tunnel. They are going to form a tunnels like this. And once your traffic is going to be processed under this tunnel, like this is going to be completely encrypted end to end. But to build this tunnel you always going to consider as the overlay. And to build this tunnel, you require the underlay connectivity. What is underlay connectivity? Means you have to make basic IPv4, or if you are running the IPv6 as well, like connectivity, or you can just think about the reachability. So you have to make it. If you're not going to make it, it is not going to happen. Means your this public IP address, let's suppose it's a 122.10.10/30 is configured here, 11, and here you are configuring like 130.10.10.11/30. They must be able to reach. So to make them reachable, you required might be the static routing, might be you are going to configure the BGP. Based on that, you are going to make the connectivity. Once they are reachable, you are able to ping from this to this. Then you are going to build the overlay connectivity. So overlay is something, underlay connectivity must be there. Then on top of that, you are going to build the connectivity. And under this, you are going to get more feature. Like one, you can see my traffic becomes secure. Similarly, in the SD-WAN, we have the other things as well, which will understand what other things is going to require. Like we have to build tunnels. Let me write some tunnel names. So you are going to understand. You are going to build the tunnel That is, I'll explain what is that. Hold on. TTLS tunnel, you are going to build a TLS tunnel, you are going to build IPsec tunnel, you are going to build a BFD tunnel, you are going to build OMP tunnel, right? These tunnels you are going to build, and these all are part of the overlay. But before building this connectivity, you required basic IP reachability. If there is no IP reachability, you cannot form this tunnel. So this is the just SD-WAN related tunnel and more Cisco SD-WAN. But this IPsec you are going to run in any router. Similarly, we have the GRE tunnel. GRE tunnel also is the overlay concept. We have the VXLAN. That's also one of the overlay. We have the DMVPN. That's also we have the overlay. We are going to use the LIPS. That is also overlay, right? So you can think whatever the sophisticated things, next generation things, if you are going to build, that is required your basic IP reachability. Without basic IP reachability, you cannot form any overlay tunnel. Is it clear to everyone? If yes, please give thumbs up. No, you can just put thumbs down so I can understand who not understand.
Yes, Vishal. Yeah, good.
Great. So let's move to the our topology and let's understand. Thank you guys. So let me clear this diagram. Hold on. So in this our scenario, what is going to happen? Let's suppose these branches want to talk to this controller. These are the controller. Let me start this root C as well. I'll explain what is the role of the root C. So these branches want to make the communication with this controller. First requirement, this router must be able to reach to this controller, either this transport or might be this transport. Okay, similarly for this one, similarly for this one, similarly for this one. Without making the IP reachability, you cannot do any kind of the further overlay connectivity. Make sense? So we'll see how this connectivity is going to build, why this ISP is going to be there. So let me explain the role of the ISP here. In enterprise network and even for the ISP network, we always work for the resiliency. What is the resiliency? That's to provide the redundancy, means the backup path, right? Let's suppose this user is talking to this particular user, which is the site 4 user want to talk with the site 3 user. And the traffic, let's suppose it's going by the MPLS. What if MPLS is going to be down? Will they able to communicate? The answer is no. If we not have the backup link. So that's why you require the redundancy. Means we require the backup. We require the router level backup. We require the link level backup. Then we can get the highly resilient network, which is basically going to provide my any single point of failure, which is going to happen from LAN to WAN. And based on that, they just make sure your network uptime is great and it's always going to be available. Similarly, you can see in the branches, we deploy the single router because we are just here for the lab and learning. But also at the same time for data center, I deployed 2 routers. Why? Because I wanted to showcase how the link failover is going to be happen. If one link is going down, how this link is going to carry the traffic. If entire router is going to down, that means both link is down, then how it is going to come on this router and how my step-by-step preference is going to happen for the logical routing decision is going to happen. Like you have the path 1, so you might be put 1000 preference, 900 preference, 800 preference, 700 preference. So in normal scenario, this link is going to carry traffic which have the 1000, and this is going to carry the secondary backup. If this is going down, the traffic is going to shift this one. If both are going down, then it is going to come in third one, and if it's also going down, then it is a fourth one. So we have the link level, device level, every redundancy. So we'll see later on when we'll discuss the policy, when I'll discuss for the advanced routing, traffic engineering, how SD-WAN is going to be catered, then I'll definitely discuss about that. Okay. So now understand underlay versus overlay. Now in this today's sessions, what we have to do first task, before I go and explain about the more about the tunnels, more about the theoretical stuffs, let's do some magic in the practical stuffs. So you have a one task, you have to just get the vManage dashboard access. I am assuming everyone have the good understanding about the vManage because we have done discussion a lot on the vManage, and we understand vManage a single pane of glass. And if you want to start something, doing the configuration, you have to start from the vManage. Means you require the vManage dashboard access, then only you can do the any configuration related to the your device, right? So for that, I'm just going to do the configuration of the vManage. So before I can do any configuration of vManage, there is one management PC. You just have to double click on. This is going to be turn on, and this PC have the password 123. So you guys can write it down. So this PC have the password 123, right? So this is the PC password. So you just have to, once you have the lab access, some of people already have. So 123, you are going to get the PC login here, right? Once you have the PC login, you can change the resolution, which is going to look nice for you. So you just go here and change the resolutions. Might be you're going to use the 450 to 900 because it's a virtual PC. So it is going to give nice look and feel once you are going to change the resolution. And now you see. So this PC by default get the internet access, and it is required. Why it is required? I'll tell the story later on. But this PC required the internet access. You can see we have connected this in Ethernet 1 on this particular PC. So you are going to see this is going to get the automatic IP address, and this PC is going to talk to internet as well. So see, this is my one LAN. There is two NIC card available on this particular PC. One NIC card is connecting to the vManage, one is going to the internet. So this NIC card is basically talking to the internet. Let me show you. So if I go and try to ping the google.com, it must be reachable. So we have the real internet on this PC. Why it is, I'll discuss later. Now, but for this NIC, we do not have any IP address. So we have to configure this NIC with the IP address, which is belong to this subnet. Means 192.168.10.0/24. So what I'm going to do that, you can see this is my subnet. So dot 10 I'm going to configure here, and dot 1 I'm going to configure here. So these two IP is going to make one broadcast domain, and they are going to ping each other. Okay, so let me do on the PC side configuration first, then we'll move to the vManage, and I'll show you how vManage can be configured. So I will go here. I'll go in the network. And you just go change adapter setting, and this network have the LAN already. So you want to check the status, you're going to find the IP. See, this is getting the IP address. But this is the unidentified LAN which doesn't have the IP, so we have to configure it. Sorry. This device has been crashed. Hold on. Wait. Let me wipe out again. We need to do again configuration. They are the virtual PC. Sometimes they crashed. So let me just configure it. Hold on. It is going to take a little bit time, but it is going to be ready. Okay, so I'll just put again 123 password, and I'll do the again configuration, the interface.
Vishal, by the time it boots, I just have one doubt.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, in the design, you have mentioned one is internet, another is MPLS. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if I get a requirement which I don't require any internet, they just require the dual router, dual homed. So
Mm-hmm.
multi-homed in the sense, or maybe single homed.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a two routers, VH routers connected to one MPLS circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in this sense, how we can have a resilience in this? Okay, right now we have a internet one and another is an MPLS. So if we have two routers with one MPLS,
You're talking about the two router, one MPLS and one
yes,
internet,
only one.
right?
No internet, no internet. The requirement is very simple. They don't require any internet, just and only one MPLS circuit.
On both router?
Yes, connects to a single MPLS. Yes, they required an
This might be this is the ATT, AT&T, and sorry,
yeah.
and this is the Verizon, right?
No, I'm saying okay, we can take it in this way. Okay, sure.
So because if you have the two routers, so you require to link, right? Else,
Correct.
this router is useless for you, right? You can
No,
only
that's right.
yeah, you have to shift the link if it is going to down. You got my point, Arun?
Okay.
Means let's suppose you have the single
No,
router.
no. What? No, my question is, if
Hmm.
we have, I mean, this is the recommended design, right? One should be an internet, one should
Let
be
me
an
draw your
MPLS.
design. Let me draw your design. So let's
Yeah.
suppose this is your branch, okay?
Yeah.
And you have the two VH,
Right.
V1, V2, right?
Yes.
And you're talking, we have the one link terminating to this MPLS.
Yes.
So we have, let's suppose another branch also. This is the BR1 and this is the BR2. This is the another V1 and this is another V2.
Correct.
This is also going to connect the same MPLS. What about these two routers?
No, what I mean to say is, okay, one MPLS is okay, AT&T MPLS.
This is the
One is a
AT&T.
provider is AT&T, another is a Verizon.
Okay, this is the Verizon. Okay, where
Yeah.
it is going to connect?
V1 should connect to that.
Okay, and this also?
Yes, V1. Yep.
So same, we can again have the resiliency on the router and the provider. Is the same is what design explain. Only the if this link is going down, your traffic is going to shift to another router because it is going to take the as a backup path. So, but we are going to configure in behind this VRRP.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's why in this particular design, if you see the data center, I purposefully design so at least LAN level you are going to get the VRRP connection. So they are going to point the VIP IP address. So my traffic is going to hit from the LAN always with the VIP. If it is the active, it will hit to this router. If it is going down, it will just go on this router and it will just make the connectivity. And the LAN subnet is going to advertise from this router also and this router also. But from there, we are going to advertise with the higher preference, here with the lower preference.
Lower preference.
So if this is going down, it will always come via this one. For outbound, inbound traffic, outbound is also going via this way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. No, what I mean to say is, if we have, I mean, in this design, or this is an recommended design, right? One should be connected to internet, one should be an MPLS. I'm saying in case some customers they don't require any internet, they may require two separate providers. In this case, right? That is what actually I just want to. No, I got the point. Whatever you said is.
So same concept
Yeah.
is going to be same.
Yeah.
Concept is going to be same. Let's suppose this is my Verizon, right? This is my ADT. Just think about the LAN point of view. This is a LAN, right? They're going to connect on the both router, right? So we are going to run the VRRP. Why? You want to make this is the primary. You have to decide, right? This is the primary router. This is my secondary router. So you're always going to send the traffic from this router to this, right? But what if this router is going down, this link is going down? There's two conditions. So you're going to track this link, OMP, so it will automatic shift there. So your outbound traffic is going to start by there. Something is going to come, right? And this router is down. So you're not going to advertise the LAN subnet from this one, right? Earlier you were advertising with the higher preference. But here we are advertising with the lower preference. But if this router is down, so you are not advertising any route via the OMP. So you are only getting route from this way. So it will land your incoming traffic via this only. So you have the path symmetry, right?
Yeah. Got it. Not a problem. Yeah.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Welcome. So now let me back to the router. Let me see. I hope it is ready. Yeah, we can do active as well. We just have to configure the policy application aware routings. So we can do the active as well. There is a provisions. We can do the active. If you want to make active passive, absolutely is fine. And active also can do that. There is a provision. We can use the application aware routings. Based on that, we can do that. I'll talk later. But this is the most generic scenario, which I just discussed right now.
Yeah. That's an recommended scenario.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So let me go here and just I'll configure the IP 192.168.10.10. And this is 192.168.10.1. I'll just skip the gateway because it's going to connect to the vManage. And there's no DNS required. I'll just click OK. So this is this PC configuration. One more thing, by default, this PC, if you want to ping from the vManage, it is not going to ping because ICMP is disabled, means ICMP is blocked. So you just have to disable the firewall feature. So you can ping even from the vManage to this PC. By default, if you are not going to disable the firewall, it is not going to ping. So I will just go here and I will just off this firewall feature. Okay, I'll apply. I'll click OK. So this is done. Now, my PC has been configured with the both subnet. Let me show you final touch how the IP schema is going to look like. So you have the two NICs. One NIC is getting IP address from this subnet. That's for the internet one. And this is for my internal vManage connectivity IP address. Okay. So now my PC job has been done. Let's move to my vManage stuff. And we have to understand how vManage is going to be configured. Okay. So let me do that. So guys, please listen carefully. If you have any question, please ask. So you just have to click the vManage. Okay. And you can see it's showing the vManager. Why is the vManager? I will tell the story about it. You press enter and you can see right now we are working on the code 19.2.3 and after that we have the 20.2.3. But for the lab, this is the recommended. Okay. If you're doing the lab, you're going to get, but in your production, you're going to get 20. Series of the iOS as well. That is the latest one. So you don't have to worry. Configuration is going to be same for all iOS. Like you think in this way, if you have the Android or iOS phone, the previous version was something where you might be not have some feature and next version might be going to some enhanced feature, some great security like that. But your phone is going to work in the same principle. Similarly, in the iOS, we are going to fix some bug, going to give some flexibility, some additional feature, but end principle is going to be same. And for the lab, this is just recommended version to use that as per the EVNG. So that's why we deployed. It's a very stable. So now you just have to put username as the admin and password also you have to put admin. Okay. So let me write username whenever going to put always in a small admin. This is going to be your username and password is also your admin when you're going to log in the first time, right? After login, you have to change the password. So I'm just going to change with the admin and I will have to re-enter the password. So now I re-enter the password. Now here you can see it is asking when you're going to configure the vManage. This is two drives here. One is the VDB and one is the HDC. These are two hard drives basically you can just think about. And by default, you have to require 100 GB hard drive inside of this vManage to just boot up the entire iOS, right? So that's why while doing the boot up, we have to select one, which is the VDB for the 100 GB. If you are going to use the HDC, it is not going to work. So I will select here, select the storage device to use. So I will select the one, which is the 100 GB and I click OK. Now it is asking, you would like to format VDB. Then I want to format. This is recommended. You always have to format the hard drive. So there is no configuration and it is going to start from scratch. So I'll put yes and I click OK. So it is going to take a little bit while time, and then after it is going to be formatted fully. So just wait. So you see this is getting boot up and daemons are getting sync up. Some other like their other parameter is just processing. So we just have to wait because system is getting restarted. iOS is completely boot up. So once it is going to boot up, you are going to get something more about this particular vManage. So we'll see how default configuration is going to look like. And after this default configuration, if I want to make the font larger, I can just put it here. So you see, so now this vManage has been completely boot up. Once it's boot up, you can see still we are getting the image name and login. But if you're going to put the username again here, it is not going to take your username. Means username is going to take, but if you're going to put the password, it will just throw an error. Your device is not ready, your device is not ready. So once you boot up any SD-WAN devices, you have to wait for few minutes. See, it's showing system initializing, please wait to login. Means until the systems are fully sync up, you cannot log into this any SD-WAN devices. So now you can see it's showing that your system is ready now. So now if I'm going to log in, it is going to take my credential. So you have to wait after restart any VH or other controller devices or vManage. So now it is going to take my password. So just ignore it. It is going to just trying to connect the loop back. So sometimes this error is going to become, so just ignore it. Yeah, okay. So now we are inside of the vManage, and if I just run a command, show run, similar to Cisco iOS, you just go here and give the show run command. You are going to find some default configuration, and this is my default configuration. Let me highlight it. So in this, you can see some configuration related to the system, some configuration related to the username. That's all user admin. Some are the logging, some are the VPN 0, and some are the VPN 512. So something it's a new for you. You might be never see this kind of the configuration on any Cisco routers because they don't have system configuration. They don't have like VPN 0 configuration. They don't have any kind of the VPN 512 configuration. Username might be you're going to find, logging you're going to find, but other configuration you might not going to find. So I'll explain what is the step-by-step process, how it is going to happen. But before I explain, one thing you have to understand. Now, if you go in the topology, under this topology, if you are seeing this interface is connected to this PC. So technically I need to assign the IP address 192.168.10.1/24 on this interface. But if I go and assign the IP address, it is not going to take the IP address. It is going to throw an error. So the IP is not possible directly to assign any interface of any SD-WAN devices. Means especially VH, vManage, vBond, and the vSmart. You cannot assign any IP address directly on the interface. Let me try and show you. It is not going to take. So how we can assign the IP address? So if I go and I'm just going to type this interface, Ethernet 1. So you will find that if I'm typing this interface command, it's not taking. So interface Ethernet 1, if I'm typing, see, it's unknown command. It's not able to recognize the command. So we cannot give the IP address on the interface anyhow. We don't have provision to give the IP address on the interface. So now the question is how we can give the IP address on the interface. So before I can give the IP address for any interface, we have to keep some concept in your mind. So in SD-WAN, we have the concept of the VPNs. So we have the multiple VPN range. We have the VPN 0. We have the VPN 512. And we have one of the VPN range, which is going to start from 1 to 511. And again, it's a start from 513 to 65527. So there are 3 VPN range. Okay. This VPN known as a transport VPN. This is known as a MG management VPN. And this VPN basically known as a service VPN. Okay. So let's break this all VPN concept one by one, and then we'll understand how we can configure the interface. So first thing you have to take in your note, if you are going to configure any interface, that must be belong to either of 3 VPNs. Means interface configuration is only possible if you are going under the VPN. See, this is the VPN 0 and there is one interface. So I have to go under the VPN, then only I can configure the interface. If I'm not going under the VPN, I cannot configure any interface. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So always you have to make sure you must go on the VPN to just configure any interface. So whatever I'm trying, it's a illegal input for this particular vManage. Now it's term and it's time to understand which VPN is relevant for what. So very simple word. If you want to configure the WAN circuits, you always use the VPN 0. Any WAN means it's
Hello,
a
Vishal. I have one question.
Yes, please.
Actually, in normal device, in router switches, when I am doing the some configuration, then we have to normal configure, go to configure mode, configure terminal, and after that we assign the interface. But in SD-WAN device, we want. So if we want to configure interface, then we need to go to the VPN. Under VPN without configuring a VPN 0, VPN 512, VPN 12511. So we can't assign the interface.
Exactly, Nilesh, you are right.
Okay.
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 So now if I want to configure my WAN, okay. So WAN must be configured under the transport VPN. That's the VPN 0. Means any internet circuit, any MPLS circuit, any 4G circuit, any 5G circuits, or LTE circuits. If I want to configure, it will always go under the VPN 0. This is the one concept. Similarly, if I want to configure LAN, means my LAN infrastructure, it always going to use the service VPN. Means if I have any subnet which belong to my LAN, let me show you. Let's suppose I want to configure this LAN, this LAN, this LAN. It will always go and configure under the VPN service. That is the 1 to 511, or might be the range is 513 to 65527. This is the range you have to use. So LAN always going to configure under the service VPN. Clear? So whenever you have to configure any LAN interface, you have to use this range. For WAN, you have to use this range. Now, if I want to take the management of devices, so there is a management VPN, that is the dedicated VPN is going to be used. That is my VPN 512. So I have to go under the VPN 512 and I have to configure the interface, which is going to just manage the box. So in my scenario, I want to take access of the vManage. So what do you guys think? Which is relevant VPN where I go and configure this interface?
512 for managing.
512. Yeah.
512, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to go under the VPN 512 and then I have to do the configuration. So let me do that. So you can see I have already 512 VPN on the router, but there is no configuration. Means this vManage. So I have to go in the VPN 512, and after going in the 512 VPNs, I have to assign this interface Ethernet 1. So I will go here and Ethernet 1, and I'll give the IP address. What is IP address? See, this command has been taken interface 192.168.10.1/24. So you don't have to give subnet mask. You just give the slash notation, it's going to work. And if you want to put any descriptions, you can put like this is the management interface. And after doing this configuration is not going to come in effect. Like some normal Cisco router, what you do that? Once you put any command, it is going to apply immediately on the running configuration. You don't have to even wait for the right configuration. But in SD-WAN, you're doing any configuration, it is not going to apply unless or until you are going to run a command commit. So commit is something you are just forcing the configuration to just apply in the running configuration. So if I'm not going to commit, this is unsaved configuration and it is not going to apply on the router. Likewise, Juniper have the same concept. Palo Alto have the same concept.
Cisco NCS.
Yes, Cisco NCS have the same concept. So you always have to use the commit after doing any configuration to come in effect. So I'll put commit, or if you don't want to put commit, you want to see what configuration I want to do, how my configuration is going to look like. So you just run the command under the same mode, show configuration. If you run this command, this configuration is going to look like this way. So you can even see. So I did this configuration with the interface is shutdown mode. So even I commit this configuration, it is not going to make my connectivity because interface is shut down. So I just put no shutdown here. And now if I run again, show configuration, you see now my interface has been shut down. So this is my final configuration is going to look like which I apply on the my vManage. So this way you can see the real configuration which is happening on the CLI mode. Now I'm okay. I can see this is my VPN 512. I'm going on the interface. I can just verify my interface. This is my interface. I can go on the descriptions. I can go on the IP, no shot. So I can do the commit now. So I will just do the commit. Once commit is done, your configuration is going to come in effect. So just wait.
Is it also going to save the configuration?
Yes, it is going to save the configuration.
Okay.
Also, Vishal, there is some command, means, commit, error, rollback, something like that. If anything,
I'll show you. I'll show you why it's taking too much time. Hold on. Wait, guys. Why it is stuck? Let me check. It should not have stuck. I believe some lab issue. Let me check. Let me try to ping whether I'm able to ping or not. So still not pinging, means commit is not fully applied because it's stuck.
Should refresh the lab. Then it will work.
Sorry.
It should be refresh the lab, then it would be work. I think the device is
Yeah,
never work.
actually it's stuck in CLI. It never stuck, but I don't know why it's stuck. I probably need to
Happening virtually.
yeah, I need to restart this vManage. Just hold on. Wait for a while. Okay, I just need to restart, okay? Because some reason it's stuck. So let me just restart. We'll do the same configuration again. Meanwhile, anyone have any questions? Meanwhile, it's booting up. Anything?
सर आपने कमिट किया था अभी स्टार्ट किया तो कॉन्फ़िगरेशन रिमेन सेम और इट विल बी
I believe this if commit was successful, so this configuration is going to be remain. But I don't think commit was successful. I believe there is a virtualization issue, and that's why commit is stuck for some reason. Device not responding. But there was no something I have made wrong. It was absolutely fine. But if there is no commit, and if I am restarting the device, then configuration is going to be wipe out. If there is a commit successful, then it is going to happen successful. So we'll see from here right away. So I don't think commit was successful, because if commit was successful, we are able to ping from here, but we are not able to ping. That means the commit was unsuccessful as per my understanding. But let's see. Still, it's getting some time to just.
तो सर ये VPN 5112 वो कैसे पहचानेंगे कि ये वैन पोर्ट है और सर्विस आई मीन सर्विस मैनेजमेंट पोर्ट है, कैसे पहचानेंगे?
See, you have to understand. Let's suppose.
Okay, I have to understand.
Yes, you have to understand. Let's suppose you're terminating any circuit. You're terminating any circuit for the ISP. This is.
Okay.
So you know this is for the ISP. So you have low level design. So in your low level design, you have some sort of the connectivity which is going to show to the ISP. So this is going to be under the VPN 0. You're connecting the LAN switch. So you know it's a LAN switch. So it is going to connect to the switch. So it is my VPN 1 or might be the 511 between this range, or might be the 513 to 65527, right? So this is your range. So you just have to identify the cable is going to LAN or WAN, or if it is like management, let's just put the management, you don't want to do that. So just going to be VPN 512. So you can identify by this process.
अगर इन केस हम VPN 0 में लैंड पोर्ट को कॉन्फ़िगर करते कोई इशू होगा क्या इन केस?
Yes, it is not going to work. Your LAN traffic is not going to be populate. In case you're going to do LAN configured under VPN, it is going to act as a WAN port. So your LAN traffic is not going to advertise from one side to another side. This is the problem is going to happen. Okay.
वो मतलब वो बैकएंड से वो मतलब वो सेंस करता है ना, लाइक वैन पोर्ट है तो VPN 0 में होना चाहिए, अगर इन केस मिसमैच हो गया तो वो एरर आएगा.
Right. I'll explain. Just wait, right? I'll explain.
Okay.
So this commit was done. See, this commit was done, right? And
विशाल,
yeah,
विशाल,
yes, please.
मुझे एक क्वेश्चन पूछना है कि जैसे ये आपने vManage से LAN पोर्ट के लिए VPN 1 कॉन्फ़िगर किया, WAN के लिए VPN 0 कॉन्फ़िगर किया, अगर हम इसको मान लेते हैं EVNG लैब पे फॉर प्रैक्टिस के लिए करना चाहे तो वो कुछ सिनेरियो मिलेगा?
Yes, we'll discuss that scenario as well, right? I'll explain that all. Just hold your thought, Nilesh, and everyone. I'll explain all the scenario, how it is going to happen. Okay?
एक्चुअली में हो क्या रहा ना, जैसे अभी आपने मुझे इस डायग्राम पे बता दिया, अब जैसे उसको EVNG पे लैब सेटअप करेंगे, अब उसके अगर 2-3 बार मैं प्रैक्टिस करूंगा तब वो मुझे हैंड्स ऑन आ जाएगा, तो वो फिर ऑटोमेटिक ही आ जाएगा.
Definitely. Agree, Nilesh. I'll explain, okay, how it is going to be happen. But let's focus here first. Let's focus. You can see so commit was successful, but somehow device was misbehaved and it was in hung state. And you can see now we are able to see the ping responses as well. You can see here the ping responses start coming. So now that means I'm able to reach from my PC to this particular vManage. So you can see the configuration is still intact here. Now, if I want to ping from this PC, this vManage to PC, then how it is going to ping? So I'm just telling the very small steps. So I don't want you guys are going to be like suffer while doing the troubleshooting, like why it's not pinging, why that not pinging. So always, let me write here. If you are going to ping any IP address, ping, let's suppose I want to put ping 192.168.10.10. This is my PC IP address. If I'm going to run this command, let's see what is going to be happen. What happened to this one? Why this is creating today problem? Hold on, guys. This vManage is creating some problem today. Okay, let me see. This is creating a problem. Yes, being human, you're right. We need to specify some VPNs. But today we have the bad luck. This vManage creating some issue. It should not like that. I need to factory reset this vManage, I believe. But let me try again. Because it's stuck. So let me. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Let me see the current lab status. Sorry for that. There was something happen in backend. So let me try to fix. Probably after that, it will work smoothly. So I'll just shut down some extra load. Shut down this one as well. Let me shut down. Shut down. Shut down. Shut down. Hold on, guys. Just sorry. Stuck. -H. Oh, so basically what happened? The drive is almost full, right? 100 GB. So this is the reason it's not responding. Actually, I allocated 100 GB drive for this particular, and somehow it's utilized for 95 GB. And I forgot to clear the cache before this lab. So let me try to add one more drive if it's possible on fly. So let me, for that, I need to stop the VM. Okay, let's see if we can do yeah. So now it's responding because I stopped some resources. But yes, this was a drive issue. I need to increase the drive anyhow, then it is going to work. So for that, I need to stop the lab. But let me show you. See, if I go here and try to ping, and I just put it 192.168.10.1. See, it is showing you cannot ping because this is trying to ping under the VPN 0. So what concept you will have to make your in mind? If you're doing any ping and you are not putting the VPN ID here, right? Then it always go and check that ping under the VPN 0. Means it always go and look under the VPN 0. That is my transport VPN, right? So always when you want to ping, so right now I'm trying to ping for the management connectivity. So I should add specify ping VPN 512, and then I just need to put 192.168.10.10. Then it is going to ping. Let me show you. So I will go here.
You mean to say by default VPN 0 works, right?
Yeah, by default, any ping you are going to do that, it will always going to fall under the VPN.
VPN 0.
Yes. So if you want to ping, then you just have to use VPN 512, and then you have to put IP address. Then it is going to check the VPN 10. See you are able to ping. Now we have the both way connectivity. So let's understand further what is this VPNs are basically. Anyone know what is the VPNs? Can anyone define what is a VPN?
I think VPN is just like a VRF in SD-WAN, right?
Yes, absolutely right. But can you just little bit give more elaboration on it? What is a VPN? Anyone? By using this VPN, yeah.
VPN is virtual private network from where we have to ping the device from one VRF to other VRF.
Okay, very nice. You can ping device from one VRF to another VRF.
Another VRF in secured manner to connectivity, which is defined as the VPN.
I think
At least you try. What else? Patil, you want to say something?
Actually, same VRF cannot be communicated to each other, I think.
Same VRF cannot to communicate to each other. Okay.
Just like if I talk about the SD-WAN, same VPN, like if I have the VPN 10 in one device and second VPN 10 in a second device, so cannot communicate to each other, I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Any other definition? What is a VPN?
Sir, VPN is a protocol through which we can access the public network through the private network.
Okay, good.
It creates the secured
VPN is just a separate routing table.
Okay, VPN is a separate routing table. VPN is just used for the connect to the one network to another network. Very nice.
And also VPN basically focuses create a secure encrypted connection on
secured
the
and
public
encrypted tunnel.
over public network. While for VRF, we can say that it is basically creating over a physical interface, multiple.
Okay, good. So guys, appreciated all answers, but let's simplify this VPN concept. So VPN, like we have the multiple of the VPNs, right? VPN is basically we know as a virtual private network. And this virtual private network having just one ambition, right? So just make sure whatever communication you are doing through any public or private network, it should be secure and nobody is going to understand what you are going to send from one source to a destination. Why I talk public and private both? Because let's understand public network. What is a public network? Anyone? Like?
Or the internet.
ISP word.
It's internet.
And what is a private network?
Personal network. Yeah, like a LAN network.
Like we have the LAN or might be your MPLS network also as a private network, right? Makes sense?
Yes.
So VPN can be used either public network or the private network. If I talk about the private network, what VPN option we have? So we have L3 VPN concept that is used under the MPLS, right? Also we have the L2 VPN. Sorry. Just think about L2 VPN, which is might be going to use for the VPLS connectivity. Might be you have heard about there is a VPLS connection like the MPLS we can build and we can use that. So this is my for private network. Still VPN is going to there. And here you are going to run the MPVGP. And after running the MPVGP, we are going to create end-to-end VRFs, and based on the RT and RD, you are going to exchange the route and you are going to create the MPLS level in the ISP core like that. So I'm not going to talk that much, but yes, this was the history for the private network if I want to build. What is a public network? So public network, we have the IPsec tunnel. That's the acting as a VPN. We have GRE over IPsec. That's also going to make the VPN tunnel. We have the DM VPN. That's also similar concept IPsec they're going to use. And in addition of that, we also have a term client to site VPN, right? We have site to site VPN. And also we sometimes called remote access VPN. So if you have the firewall knowledge, you can understand these two are the same. These are the same site to site, hub and spoke, dynamic tunnels. So a lot of concepts are there for the VPN, but end goal, you are just going to make sure your entire communication which is happening from one LAN to another LAN, they are going to be privately, they are going to be securely. Nobody is going to intercept, understand what traffic you are sending. Same concept we are going to use here in the SD-WAN. And almost same thing is going to happen here as well, like what VPN can do for a private and public network. So let's simplify it how SD-WAN is going to utilize the VPN concept. So as I mentioned, we have the VPN 0, which is my transport VPN. We have a VPN 512, which is my service VPN.
No,
we
it's
have
management. 512 is management.
sorry, Prabha. Yes, my bad. Management VPN. My state of mind was something different. And this is my something for service VPN. So now this VPN is directly same, but
Excuse me, sir.
yes, please.
Sir, these VPN number are inbuilt in SD-WAN or we need to
Yes,
create
yes,
them?
it's inbuilt. Let me show you. I was about
Okay,
to
sir.
show you. So just go here. Let me go here. Config T. And just go here, VPN. If you're just going to click question mark, you're going to find VPN 0, VPN 512, and this is your range total. So 0 to 65527 is total range. 0 is reserved for the transport, 512 reserved for the management. So what left? 1 to 511 and 513 to 65527. Make sense? So this is going to use for the your service VPN. So this is how your VPN is going to look like. Total range you can see here. So this is an inbuilt feature within the Cisco SD-WAN. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So now these VPN are exactly similar to the VRF. That is a virtual routing forwarding, which we know in the our routings are using the VRF. So same concept they are going to utilize here. Just they are going to segregate. Means in VRF, what is going to happen? Let's suppose I have one router. So this router having one routing table, that is my global routing table. We all agree? The router is physically going to be one box, and they just have one routing table, that is the global routing table. But if you want to just distribute this routing table into multiple routing table, then what you are going to use? You are going to use the concept that is the VRF. VRF is the process. In this, we can split one routing table into multiple routing tables. So one is remain going to be global. It will be there, but you can create the VRF1A. This is a separate routing table. This is the VRF-B. This is another separate routing table. So if I'm doing any route here, if I'm just configuring the same route here, and if I'm configuring the another route, let's suppose again for the same subnet, it is also possible I can create the multiple same subnet in the VRF within the same router. But if it's a global routing, I cannot do that. So these two cannot talk to each other. Let's suppose I have another subnet like 20. So these cannot talk to each other by default. By default, you cannot make them reachable through the same router because they are separate entity. They are the separate routing table. So similarly, in the SD-WAN, we are going to build the VPN that is actually going to act as a VRF. So VRF 0 route will not going to exchange on the VRF 512 and other VPNs. Clear? So they are having the separate control plane that they are going to carry the traffic. The data plane being how many, we'll talk about that. Data plane something different. We are not talking data. We're just talking about the routings till now. So routing is going to be totally separated. But data plane, how it is going to happen, we'll discuss about it. Is it clear? So we are talking about the complete routing, and routing is always going to be control plane. Data plane still we have to discuss because in the SD-WAN, there is a different concept to carry data plane. For that, we require another VPN. That is my IPsec VPN. This IPsec VPN is going to be created and that is going to carry our data plane. Clear? under the VPN 0. So we'll see how it is going to happen. Till now, is it clear to everyone? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So shall I move? Shall I clear this screen? Okay. Let me.
So
So
in
now
this
let,
sense, Vishal, actually VPN 0 I can tag to multiple interfaces, right?
yes, yeah, let's suppose you have the 4 transport, right?
Correct.
And let's suppose this one transport, this another transport, this another transport. So if I want to configure these all transport, they all are the ISP.
Correct.
So sorry, ISP. Say they all must be go under the VPN 0.
0.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
there is no limit, right? There is
Yeah,
no
there is no
limit
limit.
to
You can configure
okay. There is
whatever
no
the maximum interface available in the router. If the
Yeah.
physical box might be 10 interface, 5 interface, 4 you just have to check the data sheet and you can configure it.
Got it. Thanks. Yeah.
Now let me see, can I access my vManage from this PC? Because we have make the basic reachability. Still this PC is not responding. Because it's not working, I know we lose the resources. So let me stop some devices. Probably after that, I will. There is no actually storage in this lab. Some it's 100% full. You guys are unlucky today. So no worry, but still we understand some major milestone. So I'll make sure this is going to be clean after this class. So we are going to access everything correctly. Leave it. Let me see. Now, one more thing, guys, right? Once you configure the VPN, right? I can see we are Mr. Bing Human is talking about the control plane and data plane. So we have to understand what is the control plane, what is the data plane, right? So control plane, let's suppose we are creating any VPN. So every VPN having their separate routing table. So routing table is going to be separate for the all VPN. Means VPN 0 have the separate routing table. VPN 10, let's suppose you are creating here for service. So they have the separate routing table. VPN 5 and 2 having a separate routing table. They cannot exchange routing by default to each other. They have the control of the entire routing table entirely separate. But let's suppose these two sites want to talk from this side to this side. Then how it is possible? So they have to build a separate VPN right now. And this is not going to basically VPN 10, 20, and like whatever 512, this is known as the IPsec VPN. So IPsec VPN is going to carry your all data plane traffic from one side to another side. And based on that, you are going to make the connectivity from one location to another location. So this is actually IPsec is going to carry your actual user traffic. That is your data traffic. So we'll discuss how this tunnel is going to build.
So by default, branch to branch will not talk. So that we may need to build a tunnel IPsec, so
Yes.
it can talk each other. Okay.
By default, your data tunnel must be there. If there is no data tunnel, it's not going to be talk.
Okay.
Now let me go and try to check my vManage accessible or not. This is the last thing for today because I wanted to cover something else, but lab, I need to restart it. It will take more than 15 minutes. So I don't want to do that. Probably you can continue from the next class. So we just have to go, once we have the reachability, vManage, we are able to ping. So we just have to access the vManage. How we can access that, and we'll see how the dashboard is going to look like, and then we'll conclude. So this is my vManage. You see it's able to ping. So now I have to go in the HTTPS, and we just have to put the IP address. It is going to establish the connection, and it is going to give the dashboard of the vManage. So you just have to click advance and proceed. So we are just taking the GY axis of this particular vManage. So see, this is the dashboard of the vManage. So if you want to start work on the SD-WAN, you must have this dashboard access. If this dashboard access you don't have, you cannot do any configuration, you cannot do any troubleshooting. Means you basically not perform anything without getting this dashboard access. So again, you have to put the username admin, password we change as admin, and you just click on the login. And in this dashboard, you are going to find no configuration is there. Nothing. Totally zero. Blank. See? So earlier yesterday, I was showing the lab. That was the fully configured lab. But in this lab, you see, we have the zero vSmart, we have the zero Vantage, we have the zero vBond, we have the zero means one vManage, but still it's invalid. We not have any control connection, partial down. See, every statistics we are saying the 000 means it's a fresh vManage, no configuration, and we have to onboard each and every devices on this vManage. Means we have to onboard the vSmart as well, all sites as well, vBond as well, and even we have to make sure vManage become the valid. Right now it's invalid because there is no certification part. So we have to understand how the certification is going to happen. What is the day zero configuration step by step we have to do under this particular vManage in the settings. And then we have to onboard all the controllers on this particular device. So let me show you. See, this is the organization name, vBond detail, everything it is talking email, certificate. So that's why you can see in this lab topology, we have the root CA also. So why this root CA? Because there is a concept in the SD-WAN. You have to prove your identity, and identity based on the certificate, SSL certificate. And if devices doesn't have the identity which belong to their organization, they will not able to authenticate to each other. So that's why we required some enterprise root CA. That is a CA is a certificate authority who is going to issue the certificate. Based on this certificate, all devices are going to install the certificate, and they are going to generate the certificate signing request. And based on certificate signing request, they will get the final granted certificate from the root CA, which is going to install all the devices, means SD-WAN devices. Then they are going to part of the fabric, right? Clear? So what we can do
the
that,
CA certified is a public or a private?
This is the enterprise, is the internal hour certificate. But
It's a
if you want
private.
to, if you want to take from third party as a public, you can take that also. But you have to
Okay,
purchase
that's
that.
also.
Yeah,
Okay.
that you have to purchase.
Correct. That's okay. Got it. So here we are using root CA, but usually the root CA server will be there, right?
Right,
The
right.
enterprise level.
Yes, right. So we'll discuss this one, how router identity is going to happen, what is the certificate and all in next class. But one thing you have to understand, we'll discuss this all, what is a T-log color and all, because still we have to discuss, but most important, we have to see. We have to understand these all tunnel types. Means we have the OMP, this is for the routing. So you just know what is this overlay. TLS and DTLS. This is secure connectivity. Without TLS and DTLS, you cannot do any communications from edge to the controller or between the controller. It's a secure tunnel, right? Which is going to help to do all configuration and troubleshooting, pushing the command. IPsec, actually your data tunnel, which is going to carry your data traffic. BFD is just for the monitoring, means any loss latency and is going to be happen. So you see in this, if you want to build the OMP tunnel, for that your VH and vSmart, I'll discuss more on it, must have DTLS and TLS tunnel, then they are going to build this OMP. Inside of TLS, DTLS, the OMP is going to build. Okay. DTLS is your UDP based tunnel, layer 4, and TLS is TCP based tunnel. And this is a layer 4 tunneling concept. And they are very like SSL based tunnel, very secure tunnel. So any traffic is going under the tunnel, they are going to be very secure. And if I talk about the IPsec, IPsec is going to build between the VH router to VH router, not the controller. Under the IPsec, you are going to build the BFD tunnel. So first your IPsec need to build, then your BFD is going to build. So if this LAN want to communicate this LAN, it will always travel via the IPsec tunnel. Make sense? So I will explain this all. I will just show that practically, but practical probably take little bit
Sir,
time. Yes, Rahul.
other than SD-WAN environment, can we configure a DTLS?
Yes, you can configure Cisco wireless controller always with TLS DTLS connection. So AP make the connectivity with the wireless controller with the DTLS TLS control tunnel only.
Okay.
So these are the like open standard. It can be used for the anywhere.
Okay.
But,
I have seen only SD-WAN, that's why I asked.
Yes.
Other than SD-WAN, I have not seen this. Okay.
Right.
Hello,
So guys,
Vishal.
yes, please.
Actually, I understood all the thoughts, but I need, suppose if I want to, what is the V managed, what is the V bond, what is the fabric, what is the OMP, what is the DTS, TLS tunnel. So I want to prepare a note on my notebook. So how can I do this?
So by the way, you are going to get these all access, PPT and all, Nilesh, ठीक है? So आप इसको print out निकाल के पढ़ सकते हो. Definitely, I'll explain each and everything, and you take a notebook and pen with you. And I just explaining, you can stop me and you can just write it down if you want. I'll go very slowly. No need to worry about that.
No, actually what happened ना इसमें क्या बहुत सारे स्टेप ऐसे हैं जो समझना तो इम्पोर्टेंट है, लेकिन बट इंटरव्यू पर्पस के लिए इतना तो स्लाइड एक बार तो देख नहीं सकते हैं, लेकिन जो मेन इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट होता है तो वो मुझे नोट डाउन करना रहेगा.
बिल्कुल, आप नोट डाउन कर लेना. अगली क्लास में मैं आपको और हेल्प कर दूंगा नोट डाउन करने में. ठीक है, मुझे स्टॉप कर लेना.
ठीक है, ओके.
ठीक है. So guys, I wanted to extend this session, but somehow lab not going to work because the hard disk is full. So I need to restart the server. So can we connect in next session if you don't mind? Already we just have a lot of theory, 1.5 hour.
Sure.
Okay.
So is this the first classes or
yes,
second or third?
just we started.
So Vishal, when we will get that lab access or study material?
So you just reach out to the counselor, right? Who is your counselor? Just reach out to them and ask them. They will provide today only. Okay.
Okay.
So people already get. If not get, just reach out to them. They'll provide today only.
Okay.
And विशाल and मैं और ये पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि जैसे मुझे लैब प्रैक्टिस करना है, जैसे हमें कंट्रोलर कैसे कॉन्फ़िगर करना है, वी मैनेज कैसे कॉन्फ़िगर करना है, वी एज ए डिवाइस कैसे कॉन्फ़िगर करना है, टनल कैसे क्रिएट करना है, तो उसके लिए लैब एक्सेस पर्टिकुलर वन प्रैक्टिस के लिए तो मिल जाएगा ना?
हाँ मिलेगा बिल्कुल. अरे सब कुछ मिलेगा, क्या टेंशन ले रहे हो आप? यू आर गोइंग टू गेट लैब एक्सेस, सब कुछ करोगे पूरा स्टेप बाय स्टेप जो भी हम कर रहे हैं. तो
सर मुझे ये पूछना था, ये अगर हम वीकली क्लास लेते हैं तो सर कितना ड्यूरेशन होगा इसका?
6 to 8 week.
और अगर एवरीडे लेते हैं
सो
वीकडेज में?
एवरीडे लोगों 1 घंटे क्लास हो तो स्टिल 6 weeks रिक्वायर्ड होगा.
ओके सर.
अभी थोड़ा सा स्लो जा रहे हैं हम, लेकिन अभी थोड़ा सा एक बार आप लोगों का बेस बन जाएगा ना.
सर बेस तो हिला दिया आपने.
हिल गए बेस.
कल वो सीसीएन
ज्यादा नहीं डाउनलोड करना कि बेस. देखो एक्चुअली SD-WAN इज समथिंग जहाँ पे आप लोग को बहुत मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. ट्रस्ट
सर CCNP की क्लास ली थी सर, बेस सारा हिला बैठा हुआ, देख कर कैसा लगा? कुछ नहीं आता.
कोई बात नहीं, सीख जाओगे स्वामी, टेंशन मत लो. ठीक है ना, मैं हूं ना.
ठीक है सर.
सारे बेस बन जाएंगे.
We are doing this.
सर एक क्वेश्चन और था सर, पहले मैं CCNP करूं या दोनों पैरेलल ही कर लूं?
इट्स अप टू यू. देखो इसमें सब कुछ नया है स्वामी. ठीक है, सब कुछ नया है. जो भी आपने देखा हो टर्म CCNP का, बस आपको स्टैटिक राउटिंग आना चाहिए, BGP आना चाहिए. अगर दो चीज थोड़ा बहुत भी आता है तो यू कैन कंटिन्यू. सो पैरेलल कैन डू, अगर आप कर सकते हो तो. ठीक है.
ठीक है सर.
और ये सब कुछ नया है और आपको इसको बार बार करना पड़ेगा और हर बार करना पड़ेगा. राइट.
ओके सर.
Sir, we are doing this weekly class. So if we get the chance, if we want that on daily basis also, if we can access this, your classes.
Yes, you already get the recordings when you're going to enroll, right? So you're going to get entire recording as well. So you can just go one step ahead, right?
Okay.
And you are going to do all lab. Lab is 24/7, right? So you're going to access entire lab. जब मन करे तब शेयर करो. रात
He is saying to attend the classes for the
Yeah.
weekdays.
Yeah.
You can
Weekly.
do that. Weekdays class is running. Okay, so weekdays class you can also attend that. Okay, but that class is in middle of the session. So if you want to attend, you can join there and weekend as well. So both is running.
At
But
what time it's
it's happening in the 8:30 evening time.
8:30 time.
Yes. Yeah. So if you want to join there, you can join there as well. No problem.
सर वीकडेज की वीकेंड की क्लास किस टाइम होती है सर?
Weekend the 10:30 the same time. अभी जो हम कनेक्ट किए हैं.
ओके सर.
तो साला ऐसा क्लास का शेड्यूल कितने बजे से है, वो चीज कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा?
देखो वीकेंड की क्लास तो फिक्स है ना आपका, 10:30 से स्टार्ट है आपका, तो यही ज्वाइन करना क्लास आपको.
वीकडेज का भी जैसे हो गया ना,
करना है तो वीकडेज ज्वाइन करना तो 8:30 है. 3 दिन होता है क्लास, मंडे, वेडनेसडे एंड फ्राइडे. सो 8 ज्वाइन कर सकते हो उसको, अगर आपको दोनों जगह पढ़ना है तो यू कैन ज्वाइन बोथ ऑफ क्लासेस.
तो जूम लिंक से हम लोग को मिल रहा है, तो मीन्स ये बार बार
ये बस आज तक है. नेक्स्ट क्लास से यू आर गोइंग टू परमानेंट जूम लिंक. सो अभी just for the open session, so some new people also joining, but next class onward it's a closed session. You are going to get permanent Zoom and you just have to join that. Okay.
उसमें कैलेंडर में ये होना चाहिए, टैग होना चाहिए ना. ठीक,
डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट, सब मिल जाएगा. ठीक है, चलो. सी यू अगेन.
थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू.
Thank you everyone. Bye.